whose yellowish houses huddled together along the horizon's hills. None of the South Hebron villages had running water or electricity, Eviad claiming that was how they chose to live. It's their Bedouin culture and shit. But I was skeptical. I was usually skeptical when other Israelis spoke about Arabs. I was a discerning soldier, a different kind of soldier, ears always perked, eyebrows always raised, almost always, at least. I remembered Kufr Kanut. I'd promised myself to sever my right hand, Laith, to suture my tongue to the roof of my mouth before I let myself forget. I was here to protect the 7 other villages, just like I told your sister I would be. Some of the dusty children scampering between the tin-sided structures would ask us for candy during our patrols, and I'd give it to them when I had it. American candy, too, that my dad brought back from a visit to our old home in Everbrook, Pennsylvania. I could feel through the wrappers how the heat turned the sweets gooey and soft, just like I like them, but I didn't allow myself to open even a single package. They weren't for me. They were for the saucer eyes and twinkle laughs I'd get as I told the kids in Arabic not to eat all the candies at once, making a silly face to go along with my silly suggestion. And then there were the dogs, chained to various desert shrubs, their rib cages bulging like broken accordions, raspy gurgles in their throats as they barked half-heartedly. They didn't seem threatening, the dogs or the villagers, but still, in the back of all our minds, yes, even mine, were the stories. The shepherd, Yaron ben Yisrael, stabbed in the throat, the ambulance filled with explosives, the old farmer in the suicide vest, the ambush at the sheep junction in 03, where 3 guys from the Levi unit were taken out in less than a minute. One moment, 3 boys laughing, pulling jackets tight, thinking about warm blowjobs and hot chocolate. Next moment, 3 corpses draped in torn olive green, blood coagulating in their chests alongside foreign lead and misplaced bone shards and half-baked hopes for the coming weekend and the one after that. On a shelf inside my head, alongside the piles of my good intentions, I'd placed a little sign that read, "No illusions." These were the territories, after all. This wasn't Beit el-Asal. There was one village, Suswan, which seemed to have more going on than the other villages. Structurally it was the same. Dilapidated houses, tragic mutts, graffiti sprayed on the rocks reading Freedom Palestine in English, and No to the Zionist colonization in Arabic. The difference in Suswan was the number of people who seemed to be constantly coming and going. On the day of my birthday, July 23rd, our patrol passed by Suswan, and I noticed a big group seated in a semicircle by the village's olive grove. We were packed into the belly of an armored vehicle called a Ze'ev, a wolf, whose shell was built around the skeleton of a Ford F-550, and was designed to protect against light weapons fire, as well as Molotov cocktails and rocks. The driver was a sullen, chain-smoking professional soldier named Yevgeny. He was at least 5 years older than us, and Russian, and it wasn't clear how well he actually spoke Hebrew, so he sort of faded into the background of the wolf. Dashboard, windshield, Yevgeny. I'd been appointed patrol commander for the afternoon, and I told Yevgeny to stop at the outskirts of the village. At first, it didn't seem like he'd heard me, or, if he had, like he gave a shit about what I was telling him to do. "Yevgeny, man," I repeated in louder, slower Hebrew. "Atzor Khan, stop here." The wolf veered left and rolled to an off-road stop, earth clods and small plants crushed under its tires, and from the way Yevgeny looked over at me, I wondered whether he might murder me in my sleep. This was a running joke I had with Gadi and Tal and Eviad. "Good night, dudes," we'd say. "See you in the morning, unless Yevgeny gets you first." I looked at him now, at the bluish bags under his gray eyes, and I felt a little bad that we'd decided he might be a serial killer, just because he was pale and brooding.